Fantasy football time, week 8. D Nasty's back. We're a little later, about an hour later today, because Dave and I had a fantasy basketball draft. And so we had to make it a little bit later, spur of the moment. Apologize for anybody that wanted to ask a trade question or something to notice we weren't there, but here we are. And Dave, 2 games going on today. We have a little bit of a injury situation too in the Lions, but that's how it is. Kind of these games kind of suck tonight, don't they?
Yeah, not too funny games to watch tonight. They're both kind of a blowout. Seattle's actually really handling Houston tonight, which I was kind of shocked. But yeah, actually too, the Nick Chubb hasn't looked that good tonight. Anytime Woody Marks has had the ball, I really liked him. As I've said in previous episodes, he's electric, and every time he gets him the ball, he gets a 7 to 10 yard chunk. So I don't know why they don't give him the ball more, which is kind of odd.
I don't know either. I thought he was going to be the main guy anyway. It's just, I guess
Yeah.
he's just splitting with Chubb, kind of. It's just a weird situation, I think. But also, the Lions just were kicking the crap out of Tampa. It's just like Tampa just kind of, and then they started running the clock out at like third quarter. I bet the over and lost. I did hit Kate Otten over his receiving yards, but I was just like, how the hell is these two shitty defenses, winning today? And there are so many injuries for the Lions.
Oh yeah, the whole secondary is gone.
I feel like there's a lot of little tugging and stuff, some hands not called by that crew, but it was just weird. You have a perfect situation in a dome, no weather. I don't know. Hard to explain football sometimes, man.
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of drops too by a couple of Baker's receivers too, but Baker wasn't definitely on tonight either. So, but yeah,
fourth down conversions were terrible in the red zone too.
Oh,
That's what got us early.
That's what killed them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into bye weeks, Dave. We're looking a little scary, getting close to Halloween.
Yeah, bye Mageddon this week. This is a huge bye week. This is going to kill a lot of people this week. We got 6 teams on bye this week. First one is the Cardinals. Kyler Murray didn't play again this week, but you're going to get him on your bench anyways. Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. Those are the major ones. So you're not really starting on any of the running backs right now. Those are all actually third and fourth string running backs playing right now. We'll get into that in a minute because Zonovan Knight, Bam Knight, I didn't really expect him to take that lead back role, but he did. But we'll get into that in a little bit here. The Lions, who are playing tonight, they need the bye week after all those injuries to their secondary and their defense, but definitely getting out both running backs. Gibbs looked really good today. Montgomery, Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Laporta. So Lions is a big one this week. They have a lot of stud fantasy players on their team, so that's definitely a big loss for a lot of people. Jaguars, Brian Thomas. We'll talk about with the injury to him. Trevor Lawrence, maybe Travis Etienne, probably him. Travis Hunter, possibly. They're really not, and tight end, he's injured, so you're not really starting at tight end. Brand Strange, but he's on the shelf. So Raiders, there's not many Raiders you're probably starting these days. Ashton Genty, maybe Geno Smith. I don't think he's even a borderline starter anymore. I've dropped him in quite a few leagues already, actually. I don't think you're starting him. Brock Bowers when he's back, but they don't have Jacoby Myers. You're not really probably starting any of the receivers. Trey Tucker's actually had a good year for them. So if you have him in any leagues, definitely put him on your bench. He's probably the best receiver right now. The Rams, this is another big one. This is going to be some losses for quite a few people this week. Matt Stafford, he's probably the surprise quarterback of the year here. He's been balling out big time this last couple of weeks. He's been huge, yes. Kyron Williams, you got to get him on your bench. Devontae Adams had a huge game. Puka Nuka, he's injured, but you got to get him on your bench anyways. Higbee's probably not a starter anyways. But those are the major ones for them. Seahawks, that's another big one. Both running backs. I don't know who you're starting really out there for either one of those running backs, though. Kenneth Walker, borderline starter, probably. Zach Cabernet, borderline starter. JSN, who looked good tonight again. He's actually been playing awesome too as well. I really like him a lot. Traded for him last year for Nick Collins, and I'm not looking back on that trade. And Bucky Irvin. I got Bucky Irvin in that trade too. So yeah, loving him. Sam Darnold, who's actually having a great year as well. Get him on your bench. Cooper Kupp, he's probably borderline right now starter. AJ Barner, who's actually had a decent year at tight end, and that rounds it out.
Yeah. I mean, fuck Jameson Williams though. He got me 0 points today. I need 6.5 to win an ESPN freaking goose egg, and it's because they just, like I said, were running the ball. Tampa wasn't putting every time he caught a ball, there was a penalty or something. It always took it back. It's just this crew sucked. That's how it is, man. Sometimes trade question, Bobby, the
nice.
FP. So Bobby, trade Brown and AJB for Ibuka. Well, I got to tell you, Chase Brown has not been that great lately.
No.
And Ibuka is going to be the number one receiver now. I'm expecting Evans to be freaking toast right now, right? That looked bad when he dropped that ball.
Yeah.
It's like he had it and just the arm just went dead and he dropped the ball. I got to imagine Evans is out at least a month, probably 6 to 8 or longer. Could have been a torn labrum or something. You can't play receiver with a torn. You can't put your arms up in the air with a torn labrum, dude. Trust me, I have one. AJ Brown for AJ Brown is so hit and miss. I would do that. If you have some backup running backs, I don't expect Chase Brown to be great this year. I know Flacco's there, but that's just how he is. He's a one-hit wonder. So I kind of like the trade, Dave.
Yeah. Chase Brown, like you said, he had a good week this past week with Flacco under quarterback. He probably had his best game of the year, actually, but still, for fantasy purposes, it still wasn't that great. It's essentially AJ Brown for Ibuka. And actually, I like Ibuka better just because he's the number one there. Godwin's hurt. Evans is hurt. And then they're playing a couple other young guys. So, yeah, I think he started out red hot. He's kind of cooled off the last couple weeks, but I think going forward, he's still going to – he had a ball tonight he should have a touchdown on. So, going forward, I like Ibuka probably better than A.J. Brown. Plus, they have Devontae Smith, who takes away some of the targets there too as well. Ibuka's probably going to be the number one going forward, just like Kiev said. The Evans injury didn't look good tonight. They already said it's a concussion and shoulder injury, and it could be a major shoulder injury too, like Kiev was saying. So we don't know yet on that, but definitely Ibuka's going to be the number one there going forward.
So even when McMillan comes back, it's a time where you got to shift. Now you got some value back on Chase Brown, and I'm guessing you have some running backs. Obviously, if you don't, then you're creating a hole for yourself. So Saquon Barkley just demands so much attention from Jalen Hurts too. So the hell with AJ Brown. I didn't start him last week, and of course he went off, but I can't trust him week to week anyway. That's going to happen. Let's move on to waiver or key injuries. I don't have a lot. I have some quarterbacks banged up. It looks like some are maybe heading to a bye, though. We got Michael Penix. Actually, he just came off the bye. Sorry. He had a late ankle sprain in his day-to-day. I think he's going to be able to play next week. I mean, he's playing the Dolphins. I hope he is. If not, the backup there, Kirk Cousins, is not too much of a downgrade from him. Tight end Cole Kmet had a back injury for the Bears. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks again came out. He seems to come out every single game. Calf injury for the Pack. Good comeback for the Pack, though. Can't wait for the Aaron Rodgers revenge game coming up next season.
This is gonna be a great game. Can't wait.
Oh, I bet both sides are just they're gonna sell the shit out of this one. Tight end Darren Waller, the baller, had a 0 and a pec injury. Did not return to the game. Goose egg for Waller too. He was so much promise in Miami, dude. If he can't play this week, Miami is so they just got nothing there. Running back Kendre Miller had knee injury. Quarterback Jaden Daniels had a hammy. He can miss time. I don't know. He already missed a bunch of time, and now he's going to miss more time. I don't know. Here's the thing with Washington. It's if I were them, I would just keep resting guys until they're all ready. Quit getting them freaking injured. It's too bad because they're going to be a fringe playoff team now. They're not guaranteed. Bryce Young came out as well with an ankle injury, so you got to watch that for Carolina. And Mike Evans, just like I said, massive injury to his shoulder, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then we got Brian Thomas. Actually, he had a shoulder injury too. He didn't play. He came out of the game this week. And then, like you said, Bryce Young, they already said it's going to be a multi-week injury. So Andy Dalton's a possible pickup this week. They said it could be 3 to 4 weeks actually for Bryce Young. They're saying now they're still getting tests back on him, but they said it could be a multi-week injury, which is not good. Max Crosby, one of the better IDP guys out there. He had a back knee injury. He should be okay moving forward though. And then, like you said, Kendre Miller had that one as well. And then that's pretty much it. And then Jane Daniels, that's the major one. Hammy again, still with him too. So Mariota came back in. So probably just kind of transition right into the pickups this week then. So I'll go into pickups. Marcus Mariota, you're going to pick him up for that Jane Daniels injury. Andy Dalton, you're picking up for the Bryce Young injury. Those are two big injuries to them. And then DeAndre Swift, his backup actually looked great this week. Gane, I know I butchered the name, Kiev, but he actually had a great game. 81 yards and a touchdown and 13 carries, actually. It was a little bit of garbage time, but I think they're trying to do like the thunder and lightning kind of thing here, kind of like they did with Detroit. So Ben Johnson's going with that approach there. Oh, they actually called it something different. They called it Sonic and Knuckles is what they called it, which I don't like that. I like the Thunder and Lightning better. That sounds kind of lame. But
I think they had Thunder. Didn't they have Thunder and Lightning with LaDainian Tomlinson?
No, it was the Giants. Thunder and Lightning was the Giants. That was
Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, yeah. Right?
Yeah. Josh Jacobs. He was the Thunder. But yeah, then Rondé Gadsden had a huge game this weekend. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks too. He's almost a fringe starter right now. 164 yards, 7 catches, and a touchdown. So definitely grab him. You're going to need bye week tight end. You're starting him this week for sure. Keyshawn Butte, we talked about him last week, so I'm not going to go too much into him. But over his last 3 games, 7 catches, 153 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Had a touchdown again this past week. So if he's still out there, definitely grab him. He's definitely going to be starting this week for you. Xavier Legette, guy we kind of forgot about. Number 1 draft pick in 2024 by the Panthers. Had a huge week, 11 targets, 9 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown. He's a big guy too, 6'3", 227. So he could be that red zone guy that they need there. Andy Dalton, they'll get him the ball too. Andy Dalton can still play. So their offense can still be decent the next couple weeks. Parker Washington, he's going to get more looks as well with the Brian Thomas injury possibly. Taj Spears, he's been taken over. We kind of talked about him last week, so I won't really go too much into him. Chamari Dike, actually, ex-Badger, he looked great this past week. With Kelvin Ridley, that's one of the injuries you forgot to talk about. Kelvin Ridley was out this week with a hamstring, so his replacement is going to be him. Dike has actually been playing well. He had 4 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown against the Patriots, who have a pretty good defense. So definitely looking at picking him up if possible. Brashard Smith, he actually played more than Kareem Hunt this past week and got more carries and more receptions. He might be that third down back going forward, and they've been talking like they want to make a change there with the running back struggling a little bit in Kansas City. So Brashard Smith, he had 5 catches for 42 yards this past week, and he could get more carries going forward as well. So definitely like him. Malik Washington, like we were just talking about, they're just looking for able bodies right now. Jalen Waddle should still be number 1 there, but he didn't really do much this past week. He kind of struggled this past week. Tua struggled in general, so the whole offense did as well. But Malik Washington going forward could get quite a few looks as well. What do you got, Kia?
I like it. Malik Washington for sure is getting a lot of targets. I don't know what the hell. Maybe he's trying to replace Tyreek Hill. I don't know. Yeah, I got a lot of the same. Pat Fryermuth had a great game. Can you trust him?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a week of buys. So this is, we're trying to get you through your bye weeks, right? I think Noah Fant, even tight end for Cincinnati.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good last week. Marvin Mims finally did something for the Broncos. Is he trustable? Not really, but this is a bye week. Orlando.
Another Bronco would be Troy Franklin too. I like, actually, he had a touchdown this past week, but they have too many weapons there. It's almost like the Packers. They have so many weapons and they spread the ball around so much. You can't really have one stud receiver there, except for Sutton. Other than him, though.
Yeah, I agree with Kyle Monagai from the Bears. 13 carries against Saints, touchdown. He went off. Pat Fryer, or said Pat Fryer. Or Rondé Gadsden, dude, for the Chargers. 9 targets? Rondé Gadsden?
11. He had 11 targets. I just talked about that.
Okay, was it 11 targets and 9 catches then? Okay. He went way off. Okay, Devin Neal for the Kendry Miller injury also could be okay because Kendry Miller, I don't know if I mentioned, he actually went out last game. Well, quarterback Kirk Cousins, here we are. If Penix can't go, you better handcuff with Cousins because you got to freaking match up against the Dolphins. You got to be starting a quarterback, DFS or anything in this situation, right? That's what I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Colson Loveland for the Bears.
Yeah, Dolphins and the Jets defenses are both just horrible. You're starting whoever you can against either one of those teams right now.
Yeah,
they're both a mess.
Yeah, they're like UMass versus Kent State. That's how they are. Andy Dalton, if you hate yourself, but I would rather grab Tyrod Taylor. Even, dude, Dalton's so bad. I mean, Taylor's bad too, but man, they're desperate out there in New York. I wonder if they sneak one against Cincinnati. I don't know. I still kind of like Cincinnati this game. We'll get into that later this week. Marcus Mariota. Got to do that for the Daniels injury. Got to pick up Mariota, and so that's huge as well. Sleepers, non-starters, trending up for Week 8, and I'm going right back to Rondé Gadsden for the Chargers. They seem to like him there, and you know how Harbaugh is. He likes finding guys off the scrap heap and making them look good. It's just his little thing he does. Tight end Colson Loveland versus the Ravens is a look for the Bears, especially if Komet's not going to play. Brees Hall, actually, I don't know if you've been benching Brees Hall because the Jets suck ass, but he could have a good day against the Bengals run D, who's got a terrible run D. So you got to start Brees Hall this week. RJ Harvey against the Cowboys could be a hit too. Tyler Algier against the Dolphins could slap. Tight end Kyle Pitts against the Dolphins, massive. You might be starting Kyle Pitts. I don't know. Darnell Mooney against the Dolphins as well. And Emeka Ibuka against the Saints now is huge. I don't know if he's a start. He probably is a starter anyway, but everyone benched him this week because we all thought he was hurt. You know, Dave? And
I agree.
Yeah, so it's like if you had Ibuka, you benched him, but he didn't do that much this game anyway. They only had 9 points. T. Higgins, nice matchup against the Jets. How about T. Higgins this week? Andre, I hate saying his name. Iosivas. I hate saying it. Against the Jets is big time. And
that's I like that one actually.
Yeah, a little Cincy sleeper there. Travion Henderson against the Brownies, maybe some garbage time. You know, if they're beating up the Browns pretty good. Browns coming off a nice little win. You know, maybe letting down a little bit. Wide receiver Kayshon Boutte for the Patriots looks good against the Brownies as well. That's my non-starters trending up. What are yours?
Well, the Steelers' pass D is just horrendous right now. That defense for the Steelers, man, they used to be so dominant back the last couple of years, but their pass D is just horrible. They got torched last week by Joe Flacco of all people. So I like all the Packers receivers this week for sure. Like I like if Wicks plays, I like him. I like Golden. I like Dobbs. I like the Packers wide receivers against that poor pass D for the Steelers. They definitely have been struggling. Chiefs. I like Brashard Smith, who I talked about, and Kareem Hunt. I think both of them could have a big game. Pachinko is probably starting already, but I like those two, Hunt and but I think Brashard Smith actually is taking over the second back there, though. So I like him this week. He could be a sleeper. Colts, Alex Pierce. We didn't talk about him on pickups, but he could be a nice sleeper this week if Downs doesn't play again.
Alex Pierce is huge. He was huge last week.
So he could be a nice one against the poor Titans D. Titans D is just horrible right now as well. If Downs plays, I like Downs too as well. I like both those guys. I like RJ Harvey pick. I like Franklin too against the Cowboys D. They just be giving up points left and right. So I like Troy Franklin and Mims. I like both those guys. I like the Harvey pick too, like you said. Definitely like that as well. Rashard White could have a good game against the Saints. They still have a decent run D, but I like him. He didn't really do much tonight either. I think the Buccaneers bounce back against the Saints next week. I like Ibuka too next week. You're definitely starting him going forward for sure. I like Dart. Dart's been balling out. I know it's not a good matchup against the Eagles, but I like Dart. Dart is a legit quarterback now. 4 touchdowns this past week. He's surprising a lot of people. He's the real deal, I think. So I like him this week. I like those Patriots you named off too, like Boutte, Demario Douglas too. He's actually been coming back. He's out of the doghouse now, and he's been getting more targets and looks now as well in reception. So he's kind of moving back up the wide receiver rankings there too as well. Diggs has kind of been quiet the last couple of weeks, but it's been Boutte and Demario Douglas who's been getting a lot of receptions there. So definitely like that. The Bengals, yeah. You're starting them, like I said, the Jets is just a mess right now, and the Miami, those are the 2 worst defenses and teams probably in the league right now. You're starting all your Bengals this week for sure. Noah Fant, like you said before, I like him this week. Higgins, yes, for sure. You already started Chase, but yeah, definitely those guys. Maybe even Chase Brown might be a borderline starter this week. He's a deep sleeper probably though. I hate to say it, but I like the Dalton matchup actually. The Bills have been struggling in the secondary too, kind of like the Steelers. Not as bad, but I like Dalton this week. I think he's still a good passer. He has decent weapons now too there. That could be a nice matchup. I like the Bears this week against the Ravens. Ravens defense is just in shambles right now as well. I think Monagai and I think Swift have big games. Probably Loveland, like you said, I like that matchup too for them. Penix, I like him this week against the Dolphins. They're just horrible right now. And Algier, that's a nice sleeper to his pick as well. That's what I got.
No, I like it. Going to bus, Dave.
All right, sounds good. Bus, I'm going. I don't like the Texans matchup. San Francisco defense, they just keep winning. And Frisco, just their defense is just
They
all
lost
these
another
no-namers.
DN in Huff, but that's how they are. They just pick up guys
Yeah.
off the scrap heap and make them look great.
And their defense has been playing really well. So it's like, I don't know how they're doing that with all these injuries and guys that are out. But yeah, I don't like the Texans matchup this week. And Stroud's been struggling tonight too as well. So I don't like that matchup for them next week. I think May could struggle a little bit against the Browns D. The Browns D is still legit D. They give up some yards in the passing game though, but they could struggle. May could struggle a little bit against the Dolphins D. I don't like the running backs this week against the Eagles. I think Dart still plays well. Scatterboo could struggle a little bit against the Eagles this week. You should probably starting him. I don't like Dak's borderline MVP, but I think he could struggle a little bit against the Broncos D. They have a good D as well. Titans, you're not starting any Titans this week against the Colts. Colts have legit D. They're legit like 6-1 too this year. That's no fluke anymore. And I don't like the Steelers against the Packers either. I think the Packers defense playing better and better. They kind of struggled the first half this past week, but A-Rod, I think he could struggle against the Packers this week. Same with Mariota. I think he might struggle.
Do you think A-Rod's team likes him? I mean, do you see number 77 tackle him in celebration and Rodgers gets up and starts like, what the fuck you doing? It's like bitching at him all mad. I mean, the truth is that was a pretty hard tackle. I mean, dude, he was also all touchy-feely with Rodgers earlier, kind of like all weird, grabbing his waist and everything. I'm like, dude, you better watch yourself there, Rodgers. Don't be alone with that dude in the locker room.
Yeah, dude, he's a prima donna. I'm sure he rubs people the wrong way wherever he goes. Like, I don't think a lot of people at the Jets even liked him when he left there as well. So yeah, I'm glad Rodgers is gone, man. I like Love. Love is more down to earth. He's not a prima donna like Rodgers was. And Rodgers can still have his good games, but I don't think it's going to be this week against the Packers.
It's gonna be interesting, man. You wonder, like, if the nerves are more on the Rodgers side or if their side. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting game. The Packers are road favorites at 3 points. So I know the Steelers are overrated, but you just never know with this Tomlin team. It is so weird. I definitely give the coaching advantage to the Packers on this one. Christian McCaffrey could be cold against the Texans too. So, he had a big game last week. I don't know how he just keeps going through all the punishment that this dude takes, man. But we've been saying it for years, but he's getting older now. And I don't know. You're not going to.
I'm surprised he's still healthy. I'm surprised he's not injured yet. McCaffrey's usually injured by this time of the year.
Yeah, it's shocking to me. It's not like you're going to bench McCaffrey, maybe in like an 8-team league, but I don't think you are. But I just wanted to mention that. Kamani Vidal against the Vikings is a bad look. Alvin Kamara against the Bucks is kind of bad. I think the Bucks are going to be pissed too after allowing those rushing yards to Riggs. Tua Tagovailoa, dude, he's got no one to throw to now. I don't even know. I think he's borderline droppable, man. He's bad. He's bad this year. He hates his coach. You can tell. It's just a bad look. Running back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt against the Chiefs. Not liking that either. Especially with Marcus Mariota there. They're stacking the box. They're going to make Mariota try to beat him. Not a good luck, man. And I don't know if you're like I said, if you're the Commanders, do you play Jaden Daniels against the Chiefs? Nah, probably not. I wouldn't. Zach Ertz against the Chiefs too. So he goes down in value because of the quarterback issue. You figured he went up in value. He did catch a touchdown this week because of that, but now because of all the receivers. But I don't know. We'll see who comes back. Quarterback Bryce Young against the Bills, if he's even starting. It sounds like he can be out for a while though. So just put a / Andy Dalton. I don't want to play the Bills after the bye. Caleb Williams I don't want to play Caleb Williams this week, man. I love the Bears and they're 4-2 and going to win the division and all day. But Caleb Williams
win the division. Whoa.
I just wanted to. I was
just on my seat here.
I want to see if you're awake over there. You never know, but I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet it, but yeah, Caleb Williams against a pissed off Ravens team. I don't know. Thanks. I'm sure Roquan Smith is back. It's his revenge game against the Bears. No, the Bears had their fun, and they're too young to know how to win yet. They're going to blow this one. Probably Chiefs, Ravens.
And Lamar's probably back now too. I would think if Lamar's back, this is going to be a tough game for him. I think.
Yeah, I Ravens by like 30 probably. It's just one of those bad spots. It's kind of a letdown spot too because Dennis Allen got his revenge against the Saints, the D coordinator that was fired. Just all those little stories. Any Bear really against the Ravens, I'm not in love with. I know that defense of the Ravens is just better than what they showed, and I'll tell you this: I'll be shocked if the Bears go in there, but I'll probably be betting the Ravens this week. Brings us to our nasty sleeper, Dave. Do you want to go first? D nasty.
Sure. I'm liking the Falcons, like we were talking about. I like Penix. Michael Penix is my sleeper this week. If he's healthy and he can play, I like Michael Penix this week against the Dolphins. I think he put some nice numbers against them. The Dolphins haven't really been good this year. So anyone playing them or the Jets, I was going to possibly go Flacco, but I was like, I'm going Penix. I'm going Penix this week against the Dolphins.
I'll give you a Penix as a sleeper. It's not so nasty though, like mine. I have a nasty sleeper, D nasty. Mason Taylor, tight end for the Jets, because I think he's going to have a different quarterback. Tyrod Taylor loves throwing to tight ends. They're playing against the Bengals. The Bengals are the number one team to give up fantasy points to tight ends, averaging 10.5. I like the Mason Taylor just to come out of freaking nowhere on your bye week to score a touchdown at least and get a ton of
Love it.
All right.
That is nasty.
That's nasty, baby. Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
All right, my friend.
Make sure you get all those bye week players out for buying again this week. Definitely get those guys out.
Get them out by Thursday. Get your stuff set. It's important to do that. A lot of people forget about the early game too. I think we're not playing in Europe this week at least, but make sure you get all your stuff set up by Thursday morning. Don't forget lots of buys. Get your stuff in waiver wire Tuesday night. Ours goes Tuesday night to Wednesday. Most do. Most good leagues do. So make sure you check all that out. Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you have any questions for us, feel free to email us at info@theoddsbreakers. Tweet us at the Oddsbreakers. Have a great rest of your week and go get some winners.
Go Pack.